Today's video will be a hero tier list, and I think it's important because we have had a number of balance changes implemented into the game since my last tier list video. But getting right into it, the S tier represents the strongest heroes and the D tier represents the weakest heroes. And of course, these are just my opinions, so feel free to leave a comment if you have any difference in opinions. We start off with the D tier, which has only one hero, and that is Smog. Smog is still the weakest hero in the game, in my opinion. I cannot think of a weaker hero than Smog. The only hero that comes close is Doc, but Doc has the team healing ability, which is a real game changer. And that brings us to the C tier, which has only one hero as well, and that is Doc. As mentioned earlier, Team Heal is the only thing that prevents him from being in the bottom tier with Smog. In my opinion, Doc needs an urgent buff. In the B tier, we have 9 heroes. Let's start off with Cyclops and Leviathan. I believe in my previous tier list, these heroes were ranked lower, but because of the recent buffs, I felt like they got strong enough to be in the B tier. I will link a video below that lists all the balance changes from the most recent update. Hurricane also remains in the B tier despite a nerf to the movement speed of all the shield heroes, and this nerf also came in the most recent update. Bertha got a nerf as well, but not enough to put her in a lower tier than this one. In the case of Stalker, he is the most balanced hero in the game, in my opinion, so he fits perfectly in the B tier. Bastion is really strong at lower levels, but requires a lot of help from Dragoon at higher levels. The remaining 3 heroes making up the B tier in this year in my previous tier list, but I think the nerf to movement speed of shield heroes drops her to the A tier. I've always felt that she really needs her movement speed, or else her shield runs out before she can take out all her enemies. Remember, she has the lowest health in the game. Tess is the latest hero added to the game. I will link all the videos I made about her at the bottom of the video description in case you haven't watched them. But to summarize, she can zap multiple enemies at once, and her main ability is a really good counter against rushing heroes using portable shields. I think this is enough to place her in the A tier. The rest of the heroes making up the A tier are Satoshi, Levi, Ghost, Raven, Sparkle, Annie and Dragoon. These are all pretty strong heroes and they are not very hard to use. And finally, we look at the S tier. This tier is made up of 3 of the strongest heroes in the game. Let's start off with Mirage. She received a nerf in the most recent update. Again, you can find the video regarding update 5.2 in the video description. I listed all the balance changes there. Now, Mirage players were not happy at all with the nerf as expected, but the fact is, Mirage is still the strongest hero in the game, no doubt about that. Another really strong hero in this tier is one of the new heroes, and this is Lynx. This is the first hero to have the ability of switching between firing modes. While in sniper mode, most heroes will fall in 1 or 2 shots. When she switches to rapid fire mode, she does less damage per shot, but her fire rate is much higher. On top of this, she has the incredibly useful ability of making her entire team silent and allowing them to listen at longer distances. These effects will work even when she is alone. And the last S tier hero in this list, in my opinion, is Freddy. Highest damage per second in the game, arguably the fastest movement speed, and his grenades are really annoying. His only problem is bad vision, and this makes him see a very small part of the map, which makes him vulnerable to any hero with more vision. But the simple solution to this problem is to just keep moving at all times and run in a zigzag pattern. And there you have it. This is my tier list going into 2023. And as mentioned at the beginning, if you have any difference in opinions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. I reply to all comments whenever I can. If you made it this far in the video, here's a few other videos you might like.